Well, the big question tonight, does Joe Biden belong in the White House or a nursing home? There are growing concerns across the nation about the mental capacity and the cognitive abilities of President Biden. Over the weekend, President Trump held a town hall meeting in a black church in Detroit. Now, the president fielded unscripted questions from regular folks. Afterwards, he brought down a house during a massive people's convention sponsored by Turning Point Action. While Trump was with the people, President Biden was hobnobbing with the rich and famous and Botoxed in Hollywood, sharing a stage with former President Obama. At times, Biden struggled to verbalize his thoughts. It was absolutely painful. And towards the end of the event, Biden literally froze on stage. President Obama had to literally grab him by the arm and escort him off the stage. This is the leader of the free world, ladies and gentlemen. So why did he freeze? What did he see? Another dead person in the audience? Well, we may never know. But what the entire world saw was Barack Obama, out of absolute necessity, physically grabbing our president, pulling him off the stage before this depressing display of weakness got any worse. And last week at the G7 summit, President Biden simply wandered away from other world leaders. We don't know what he was doing. Was he distracted by a squirrel or some sort of woodland creature? The Italian prime minister rushed over and helped gently corral the president. Had it not been for her fast thinking, well, the Secret Service might have issued a silver alert. Very strange behavior. Getting lost on stage, sniffing small children, and most recently, nuzzling the forehead of Pope Francis. That was weird. The White House press corps peppered Karine Jean-Pierre with questions earlier today, and our very own James Rosen led the charge.
I don't have anything. I don't know specifically what happened with Maloney.
The wandering, the parachutist.
Oh, I mean, look, that was, as I said, it was a cheap, a cheap fake. That was definitely a cheap fake. It was. This was widely fact-checked. That video was widely fact-checked, including by conservative media, on what happened, what occurred. The president walked over to give a thumbs up to divers who had just landed right in front of him. And if you run that tape a little bit longer, you would see what was happening, what the president was actually doing, and it is a cheap fake.
Rosen then brought up the bizarre moment during that Juneteenth concert. Remember that one, Billy Porter? The bearded guy in a dress getting his groove on alongside the second gentleman and the VP? Yeah, that was weird. Anyway, Biden, he just stood frozen.
That video was, okay, let's talk about Juneteenth. The president stood there listening to the music and he didn't dance. Excuse me, I did not know not dancing was a health issue. That is a weird thing to actually flag when if you look at the people who are around him, you look at the expanded video of the people who are around him, they were not, there were some folks who were not dancing either. And that has been fact-checked. I mean, just because you're standing up listening to music and not dancing, that is not a health issue.
But the reality is all of those videos have been authenticated. These are not deep fakes. The videos are real. But if KJP wants to talk about deep fakes, okay, let's have that conversation. What about that 13-second video the White House released that included 5 jump cuts, edit marks? They had to start and stop a 13-second video 5 times. Who does that?
American voters who are telling pollsters repeatedly for years now that they have serious concerns about this president's cognitive fitness are being misled by cheap fake videos? Is that
I'm
what you're
saying
telling
that
us?
there have been, in recent weeks, there have been cheap fakes videos that have been fact-checked. They've been fact-checked by conservative media as well, to say that these videos are false. They're purposefully being altered.
So Baghdad Barbie there is telling you, America, don't believe your lying eyes. Our president, he's just fine. Yeah, but the truth is that President Biden is not fine. He's an old man, and he's not aging well.